featuring guest Taz.
In the house.
We got Rand.
Star Digital
up this piece. We got Dre, and of course in the back is Light and me, Riz.
It's the great.
I'm here today. What's good, y'all?
Chilling.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. So what's up, Taz?
I'm tight right now.
Why you tight?
Because Shaq pissed me off.
What'd he do?
Shaq pissed me off. I know you feeling this.
Okay.
You can't call Irving an idiot.
Okay.
And you got the same movie playing in your theater.
Yeah, that's a bad movie.
So what does that make you?
I think what happened was that he didn't realize, because not making excuses.
Ain't no excuses.
He's a mogul.
Yeah.
He has a lot of businesses, and in most moguls, you don't know everything. And these are little things, and where he didn't give himself time to double check everything. And that's what happened.
Yeah, but when you call somebody stupid, you should do your research. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
The problem
idiot
is
bigger than stupid.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're that high, when you're as a mogul,
Right.
You rely on others, and it's a chain. Right?
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's a tree. It's a chain.
Yeah.
So he was wrong.
Definitely.
You know, and nobody. I'm not seeing many people. I'm not seeing the kind of backlash by his peers on that. By the way, you know, in social media, we're all talking about it, right?
It's like people are ghosts.
Yeah,
Like they're afraid.
Yeah.
Like afraid. Yeah.
But I was watching something on one of them apps that Shaq got a weight machine, and he's promoting that, and all the comments coming in are dogging him out.
Oh, okay. Took the opportunity, right? Okay.
The movie thing they giving in his house. But like I just like with that, us as black people, we just don't stick together with nothing, because all this hoopla going on about Irving, but when Kanye said black people was being slaves and it was their choice, where's the uproar with that?
It's like they picky, but you gotta remember, it's not everybody. It's the internet. The internet is doing that. It's not everybody.
Well, listen, can we say Can we say the last name? I mean, I don't want to get you shut down.
Say whatever you want.
Okay, I'm saying.
Really?
Everybody know the Jews run the world.
Except for the Jews, we down.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna need you right now. We need disclaimer. Immediately, disclaimer.
Okay. You're not responsible. But the bullshit is when Jews are doing business, they don't care who's outside. Like they're not gonna do business with nobody else but them. You know what I'm saying? So they can hate your guts, whatever the case might be, but they're gonna keep business with them. With us, we don't do that. It's no togetherness with us.
It's because of culture, right? Because culture is that invisible social web that binds you. Right. It keeps your folkways, your morals, your whatever God you believe in, your laws. It keeps it together. So even if there's a disagreement, you have that web that says we're tethered, and everybody is the enemy, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
So and with us, just as African American, we have our situation in America is so unique. It's so unique versus anybody in the world.
It is,
and we're still going through trauma, right? Within ourselves. So that's why. Speaking of which, how does Moses make his? How does he make his teeth? How does he make his teeth?
He split the sea.
You know it's gonna be something crazy.
No, brother, he Hebrews. All right, so now back to so now
that's a good one.
What the Honorable Louis Minister Farrakhan, what he said, was so simple, clear, and straight to the point. And what I'm disappointed in is that I have not seen any other black leaders, male or female, support Kyrie and Ye at all. I've seen them attack other issues. Cops killing someone, but they're not attacking this.
It's always like
and that's disappointing.
But let me say something here
it's
too.
always like that.
Yeah, but right? Now, he was on some crazy shit. He didn't really go attacking the Jews till they hit him for that billion.
That is correct.
Before that, he was on some other shit. But when they hit that billion, is when he switched up his whole tune and started, attacking them and putting the secrets and shit out. But before that, he was dogging us too. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think maybe he said what he said so that he could get released from Adidas, because he wanted to get a release from them, and he said, I can say whatever I want and I'ma still be with Adidas.
Okay.
And then he said that, and they was like,
I'm gonna, this is where I'm gonna get canceled with the internet nuts, right? Our people, we just want to, it's like we're, as Rob Parker would say, prisoner of the moment. That wasn't, I don't believe that was his plan. He was speaking how he felt. He's going through trauma. He's been institutionalized. What it was that he spoke his mind and it backfired.
Yeah.
Everything in
I
life isn't
believe
as
that.
complicated sometimes. We make it very simple. He
Yeah.
felt what he felt, he said what he said, and it backfired, like when he was on TMZ, right? He felt what he felt and it backfired. And this one, it backfired enough where he went from $1 billion to 400 million.
yes, it just dropped.
Which then
Instantly.
affected him instantly, which affected him more.
Yeah.
Which why the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, when he said, if you had $1 billion,
Did you
and
really
did
have
you
it?
really have it?
Yeah.
And he took that personally. Yeah, he took it personally and didn't understand the layers under that. If you had it, then you never had it. Was it real?
Right.
Now, it in its simplest form. So no, people do, he's a genius, and that's the problem. Let's not be a prisoner moment. Let's relax, analyze. We're very emotional when things happen. Let's sit back, let's see, and we can see he's not a genius in that. He's a genius in other things.
One quick thing. What did the janitor say
Oh,
when he jumped out the closet?
It's two of them.
Supplies!
Supplies.
Yo, I gotta hear this.
When I said it's two of them, I meant it's two of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we go do this every day.
What's the qualifications for being president of the United States?
Nothing.
Because my point is, the red orange man, right? All the shit he going through, 100 million cases, rape charges, fraud, everything, right? And then he's running again, and everybody know he's running again, so he can get pardoned for all the shit he did already.
He didn't get canceled yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But now, had it been a black man, he'd been in jail the next day.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been 2 and 3
Yeah.
all that nonsense they was doing. It would have been the first thing he did,
Yeah.
and it would have been a wrap. But with this guy here, he's worse than the mob. Everybody's scared of him.
Yeah.
That's the
And
thing.
everybody know he's the biggest crook.
Yeah, the Republican Party, they don't have anybody else that can pull numbers like him. So that's why they're holding on to him.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but
they're not.
they lost everything.
But
they lost
canceling
everything
numbers.
running
Yeah.
with him. You know what I'm
True,
saying?
true.
But
But
then they got that Hershey Walker. He just a carrot.
Oh
He's
my
Space
God.
Cadet.
Well, with the Orange Man though, the one thing he said was that I forgot which debate it was, but he said that the system was crooked. I'm paraphrasing.
Right,
Crooked.
right.
I'm in the system.
Right.
And when he leaves, he's going back to the system.
Right.
And when they said you're not paying taxes, it's like, well, that makes me smart. And that brutal honesty and arrogance that you can say, I said what I said and I'm walking, got him a base, and where people say, like educated white women were the ones that were supposed to vote against him, and they didn't vote against him, because even if they don't believe in what he says or like his attitude and his energy, at the end of the day, people respect leaders, even if they might not like their action. You respect that. It's the saying goes, I might not like what he or she does, but when they do it, I gotta respect it. And I think that's part of it.
And just the other day he said that all drug dealers should be sentenced with the death penalty.
Straight
Death.
I have no problem with that. I have a problem with the fact that he said it, because I think that's something. So I'm going to speak for the African American.
I'm gonna speak for. Let me get that square bar right there.
Is that part of a joke? Or?
No. I don't want the cactus.
Okay, so, and I think that, again, being a prisoner of the moment, when he said that, and I'm going to speak for African Americans, right, for black people in the country, when he said, for the people that have been harmed and killed and families hurt and everything that's going on with drug dealers in our community, we believe the same thing. It's just that, again, you got to have the courage to say it. Right. So I think that, again, as black people, we need to have the same feelings and it's just what it is. You know, he's honest in I'm sorry, his intentions might not be honest, but the message is still, you know.
I don't think it should be death. Like,
yeah, I don't think
it's not death.
No, okay, okay, so let me ask a question then. So if a drug dealer is peddling drugs, and those drugs peddle, and let's say a kid actually gets shot, you can tie into the drug dealer. What do we do to that drug dealer?
Well, okay, if a kid gets shot because the drug dealer was selling drugs on the block, that shooter should be the person that would go to jail, because that shooter is endangering people. But if I'm just trying to make a little bit of money, but I'm not, because I don't do this, and sell a little bit of crack to get dinner, because there's some people out there that sell drugs just to get food. I don't think they should go to get a death penalty for selling a little bit.
At least not automatic.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like,
and
everybody.
And again, I'm not supporting.
I'm not supporting drug dealing.
I'm gonna make a point. It's always easy for all of us to have a high moral background until it affects us. So I'll give you an example. I forgot the lady's name, but it was a lady I forgot what state. She's a pastor. She's out in her garage during the middle of the day, it's about 4 o'clock, and she gets carjacked. And it was a 14 or 15-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid with a bunch of young black men, young black teenagers, and they killed her and carjacked, and she's a pastor.
Wow.
Right? Now, some argue, and I think the 14 or 15-year-old kid got shot by the cops, right, when they caught him. Some would say, oh, that's excessive. Now, if that was my aunt, would that be excessive? So I think it's all perspective. Yeah, everything it's all perspective.
Well, of course, when it's you want the major punishment. When it's affecting you, yeah.
That's why we should be preventive, right? Right? We should focus on prevention. That drug dealer created an environment that created an environment where somebody got shot and possibly killed. And even though that drug dealer wasn't the shooter, they should be liable for the.
But see, the only thing about that statement, though, if you're gonna say death, the only drug dealer's gonna get the death penalty is the black ones. The white ones gonna get time.
But let's just be honest. Let's just be honest.
That's honest.
Let's be honest. When the average black person has in our community, our biggest fear and the biggest person that we're concerned about robbing and attacking us is our own.
True.
Let's just be honest, right? And we have to be honest with it. So even though we don't want to hear other communities say black and black violence, because it is a statistical fact that those in the same color living in the same community will have a lot of violence. So if you're in the Asian community, they're going to have violence within themselves.
They have
Native Indians, indigenous people, so on and so forth. We just get labeled because we're the enemy. But we're amongst family. We have an issue, and the issue is more likely I'm going to get attacked by someone that looks like me.
So, what do you call cheese that's not your cheese?
Nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese. That's what I'm talking about. Down with the drug dealers.
That's right.
So I want to say it's not that
definitely for bad jokes.
It's not that I support what Orange Man says. I'm just latching on to bringing that message, and we need to talk about it, right? We don't need. The sad thing, we shouldn't hear that from him. We should be talking about it.
Yes, I think if a drug dealer gets locked up, they need counseling and to learn why they are going to jail, because what they're doing is affecting their community. But sometimes they just be hungry.
Right.
That's the thing.
There's always exceptions. There's always exceptions, right? There's always exceptions. So I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm talking about clear case. Clear case.
Because the real drug dealers
and Colombia,
not the ones getting locked up.
But I'll stand the real drug dealers that you watch on TV, the Godfather.
But they're
not.
With
But when you come out your house. Because let's talk about the people that were harassed in the Bronx. There was a community in the Bronx when young people were harassing a building.
Yeah.
And if you ask them about stop and frisk, they'll be like, I love stop and frisk. Now, we wouldn't like it, but they would like it. It's all perspective. So we need to start listening to victims and say, hey, how do you feel?
But see, what's crazy now, like today, even though I hate to say it, but we need stop and frisk today. I'm just saying the shit that's going on right
it's
now.
wild outside.
It's the wild, wild west out here.
It's like two peanuts was walking down the street. One got assaulted. All right, I'm going to step over here.
Please.
Two peanuts was
How
walking
did-
down the street and one
No.
guy.
How long did it take for the police to catch a man running for his underwear? It was a brief chase. It was a brief chase.
A
Okay?
brief chase?
We can do this all day. Okay? Let's
What
No,
the heck?
This is my last
What
point.
book y'all
too,
been
man.
reading?
This is my last point too. Because like I said, I've been tight all week about this shit, right? Now, them other people, right? Now they always come when you talk about them. Like we got the nigga shit, which just stop, but we still do it. But now, them other people, the Holocaust. They always you said the Holocaust. They go, oh, you can't say this, right? Oh, we lost 6 million people in the Holocaust. I'm like, I understand that, but fuck that. Slavery, we lost 100 million.
Yeah.
How about abortion? We lost more than that.
You know what I'm saying? But
So we
nobody-
can go on. Yeah, we. Yeah,
That's over the
yeah.
vote.
Right.
It's not sensitive.
Right.
This is
not.
sensitive.
It's
you know?
not.
And here's why. Here's why. It goes back to what I said about culture, right? Invisible social web that binds us. Everybody's the enemy. The problem is that we're not thinking that way.
Right.
If anybody talks about slavery, we should be. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It is our responsibility to shut people down. Kanye, when he said that we weren't forced into slavery or saying enslaved,
What they do, go out and buy some gays.
yeah, and that's our problem. That we
Well, that's
should
a
have
smoke
shut him down.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our
Everybody
Right.
love their Yeezys.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't.
Instead of
Yeah.
shutting them down then.
It's our responsibility.
Shoot, we should have shut down R. Kelly. Keep it a buck.
Yeah.
That
A long
kept
time
going.
ago.
That's
Yeah.
still going.
Yeah.
That's
That's because he was a money machine, you know?
No, this song, he made good music.
Damn sure made good
But
music.
now, with R. Kelly, like I say, back to the system. Weinstein, all these cats did way worse shit than him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
The punishment's completely different. Every time, it's just, I'm telling you, it's just two separate worlds and people can't understand that.
No, it is. It is.
So people don't believe it.
It's
You
a lot
tell
of
them that
separate
shit.
worlds.
Like you tell the white person, yo, the cops ain't gonna fuck with you for you. The shit you saying is a lie. I'm like, dude, my face is on the concrete. You know what I'm saying? When you get stopped, I done seen white people curse cops out.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
They talk to them
Yeah.
disrespect.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
They have to
But
go.
here's why: stay on code. We got to learn to stay on code. I'm not justifying it, right?
No,
It's
you wanna
staying
live,
on
you
code.
gotta stay on
When
code.
again, going back to Orange Man, when he said about the drug deal, I know what he's saying. He's talking to his base to
Yeah,
stay
his
on
people.
code, and his staying on code. The problem is that we're loving people. It's a beautiful thing that we're loving people. We're sun touchers. The problem is that we just love everybody, and we're not selfish, and we need to be selfish. And that includes.
The problem is, sorry to cut you, but the problem is, black people love everybody except other black people.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
black people don't trust each other. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's
too.
where it starts.
But there's
you
no
know.
love for the
right.
black.
There's no love for them. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With
Once you
blacks,
trust
more
them,
like jealousy and he doing
you do
this.
more.
Because if you see at two stores, you see a bodega and you see a black person store, which store you going to go in?
Yeah.
I've been in that point. I'm trying to support black people with the stores, but sometimes I go to black man.
They don't got nothing.
Yo, shit, they got it, but like, it's just 3 times higher than the matter of
And that's a reason why, right? It's because of the cost. They're getting high costs because they're black, so they're applying it to us. Not
Right.
excuses, but again, the lowest.
For the
That's
agenda.
it's systematic racism. You
Look
know.
what they do with their neighborhoods right now. I don't want to make them jobs, but I'm saying, but my job, when I go out there, what's Bay Ridge, right? I'm going down. I see one liquor store,
Right.
damn near a mile.
Right.
stretch.
Right.
Come here in the hood, you got a liquor store in every corner.
A liquor
It's a
store.
liquor store in
a
the
the
church on
agenda.
every
liquor
corner.
store in the church.
Yeah.
Because there's two things you don't talk about with black people: Democrats and white Jesus.
Yeah,
And
Jesus.
liquor helps kind of, solve your problems. But I will say this: what do lawyers wear when they go to court?
A briefcase.
Lawsuits.
Yo. Listen,
I'm about to shut his mic off.
you guys doing great. You guys doing great. But what do we call? No. We're gonna end this segment right here. Right now, we're just gonna come back with a special guest. So
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say no names.
Who doesn't have corny jokes?
Yeah.
We got a big dog in the house. So.
All right.
No, wait a minute. It goes up now real quick. Oh yeah,
Oh.
well yeah. What do you call a blind reindeer?
No,
blind reindeer?
he got cue cards.
See now?
No idea.
You don't like
Let me
it.
back.
All right.
No idea.
What up, y'all? Boy LiTe Rex here. We got Brandstar Digital, Riz the Great, and the one and only Amadeus. Amadeus, yo. What's up, Amadeus?
Tired, bro.
He's working. He's all over, yo. He's all over.
You working hard? They got you out here.
Yeah, it's, people, you one person. You got 20 people every day. Can you do that? Even on the way over here, that's why I couldn't talk to you.
All right, yeah.
When you kept calling me, people calling me.
Busy.
So,
You're a star, man. You're a star behind the stars. The scenes behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's so humble, yo. God.
like you've
Producer
been with me
extraordinaire.
100 times, man.
I know. You gotta let the people know.
Producer extraordinaire. Run down the list, like.
No. Are you not too tired to get vamped with a whole bunch of questions? Because this guy's gonna give it to you.
Nah, man, you ask whatever. I'm here now.
That's right.
Well, here's a question. I got a question. What kind of boat do smart people go on?
I have no idea.
Scholarships.
Oh, God.
All right,
That's actually pretty cool.
so
I like that.
all right, so
We started off. What's the difference between a snowman and a snowwoman?
what?
Snowballs. Okay.
Oh, God.
They're laughing. All right, that's it. I'm
come
saying
up with
Snowballs, yo.
Okay. All right. Okay. So hip hop.
Yeah.
So Amadeus, I got introduced to your sound production you've done with recent production, actually with MOP, Duck Down, and one of the things, and it's funny because when I realized that you guys knew each other, one thing why I went to speak on the phone was that you didn't have a signature sound, and what I mean is like I'm a Primo fan, right? I'm a Pete Rock fan. Yeah. You know, and what makes them great is they have a signature sound, right? Pete Rock got the horns, Primo got the boom boom and the sample, and you, like Static Selector, you guys don't have like you can't say that's an Amadeus beat,
Right.
You know, what do you attribute that to? And you've heard that before?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ras just, I just gave Ras, I think 6. He just took 6 beats from me for his album, right?
That leaked out there. Raz
And
Raz.
he sent me he's like this with Preem. Preem made him, so, and he out of the blue just asked me, he said, listen, I just emailed you some drums. There's James Brown drums with 1, 2 off drums, and he said, tell me what you could do with that. He said, I need some of that Primo shit you do. And, you get told this, repetitively, like you have this premiere, but not premiere, and it feels good to have like faith, that people have faith in me that I can do my own thing, but emulate a sound that they like.
Yeah.
Without it being, you still know that's not a premiere track. Right. Even though Static is a couple of times Static, were you there that time he came in there and we were playing the song? He was like, I would just swear that was a Primo track.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there.
But sometimes I don't like that because I could tell Preem don't like that. I could tell that he don't want anybody biting it, so I did my own thing. But I think a lot of it has to do with me being from the South originally. And Preem is from the South.
Yeah, from Houston, yeah.
And I think that what that does is it gives you a different type of ear.
Yeah.
And you're so it shows, and Billy says that to me all the time. He's like, yeah, old country.
That's Billy Dance for MOP.
Yeah, I know he could come with something else. He's always challenging me. And we keep.
It's funny you say that because Kanye always talked about how he would mimic Pete Rock and Primo. He would just make the same beats, and he has a totally different sound. So everybody gets something from everybody, but people just very specific. When they hear one thing, because like I said, I'm a hardcore Primo fan, and I get a different sound, right? I get it just like, and that's why I said you and Static Selector. Like you got Diamond D is another producer that I find that you can't tell a Diamond D beat. You know,
Right.
So and I think that's a good thing. No signature sound.
Well, I can tell you, I know why Kanye did that. So when you learn in production, the best way to learn is it because if you have a favorite producer, like you have this ear for everything that they've done. Like Preem and Pete and Large Pro, those are my guys. So when I started production, the best way to, because you don't know how to do it. So the best way to do is imitate your favorite producer first, and that makes you learn. And then once you really know it, after you made 4,000-5,000 tracks like I have, you know, you eventually just develop your own sound. Like, and that's what happened with me. Like this guy's going nuts over something that I sent him. He's like, I sent him to Craig G. That's doing real good on YouTube. 111,000. You know, people really like that. And I sent him an MOP. I sent him NIMS. He's like, he couldn't. He said none of these sound alike. I could not tell you. And I try to have range with it, but I attribute that to growing up, you know, between New York and the South, having both. You know, so it gives me a little bit of an edge because I can do all of that T.I. type of stuff. I can do easily. It's almost like natural to me. But then people hear it, like I've been told, you sound more New York than people from New York.
Yeah,
I've been told that by so many people.
See, you know, it's funny you say it because again, another example would be Hit Boy. I find him another producer that doesn't have a signature sound, but it's just a crisp like sound, which is why Nas is just is on fire. You know, but I'll say then I'm going to hear your opinion, anybody's opinion. I'm still waiting for the Nas and Primo. It's like Dre's Detox. I think that people don't realize the reason why Nas is doing so well is because people are more warm. Because the way Hit Boy produces, anybody can listen to it.
Right.
Primo, who we want Nas to rock with, has again that signature
sound.
And
Right.
everybody might not want to hear that.
Right.
You know. So what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I saw Nas making moves maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They're all doing that. They're all trying to associate themselves with these younger cats that are out there and really popular. Yeah. And I just think it's a smart business move. And then, you know, you get to see Nas's range.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really a good thing for the older crowd. And the reason why is because cats that don't know him, don't know Nas, don't know that era, what happens is they get hip to what he did do. Yeah. Because they go back and listen to who's this Nas guy. And then they go, oh, wow. And they end up researching him. And that's what's nice about the way they've been doing the hip hop awards. Like you saw Bill and Fame were on the BET Awards, Fat Joe. So what they're doing is the beauty and why I've been able to be so successful right now is there's this hunger for both. Yeah. Like, you know, Rass's sons are in Coast Contra.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And, you know, I was with them and I was there at the show. It was amazing.
Coast Contra.
Coast Contra, these 4 MCs, 2 Razzcast sons, right?
It's 2 of the twins. They're twins.
And one is from Philly, right?
One's from Philly and the other one's from Florida. And he's Black Hispanic.
The range. This is pure hip hop. I mean the energy. It's the cadence, how they flow. They bounce off each other. It's kinetic. It's almost like leaders in the new school.
It's lyrics.
You know, and energy like the leaders in the new school.
Well, they did a song over the track, Scenario.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the one that
they caught your ear. Yeah.
Now I know we're interviewing you, but I want to ask one question though. Talking about Nas, so the situation with 21 Savage and the comment that he made, right? I'll start first. Okay. We don't disrespect our legends. we tell, and this is in the other podcast with Tech, when I said that you don't say you're a legend, we tell you're a legend.
Right.
And you don't disrespect the legend. And what 21 Savage did was disrespect the legend. And I'm glad that the hip hop community got at him, right? I think it's disrespectful. He's relevant because he's relevant to us.
Right.
That's relevant. Maybe your fan base not relevant, and that's fine. It's okay. But it's relevant to us, and we shouldn't. And that's the problem. As we talking about with sticking together, we don't disrespect our community, right? And so you can say maybe it's not. Maybe Nas has a whack album. You say it's a whack album, but you don't disrespect the legend.
Right.
What's your thoughts?
I just had this conversation with somebody. I was talking to Beats by Domingo, you know Domingo, Padilla, and all, legend.
Is he doing something for Coogee Rap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people though. I mean,
yeah.
You know what that's really just that's a generational thing. So as we came up, even though we may not been born of the Marvin Gaye, we might not been alive necessarily when in the 60s or Motown era, we came from a household where we heard it growing up. And then as we went into hip hop, what did? We sampled it.
Yeah.
And in black culture, we're like taught that, that's James Brown, that's Millie Jackson, that's B.B. King. We were taught generation after generation that these are the people you worship. These are the people that give us an identity. What happened? Crack.
No, the crack era.
The crack era comes.
Yeah.
And if you see, there's this real disconnect. We didn't do that. We didn't talk bad about, we didn't say, oh, well, James Brown was whack. Why does everybody make such a big deal? Because we were raised to respect that music, and we respected it so much. No matter how young we were, we brought it with us, and we flipped it in the way we wanted to hear it, right? Well, this younger generation, they have this mentality about them and them only. There is no room for anybody else.
Well said.
They don't care about. Look, it's this their mentality. Like 21 Savage is an idiot. He's an idiot. I mean, if you ever listen to him talk, listen to his interviews. Dumb, ignorant, knows nothing.
Very ignorant.
Yeah.
Now look who he's talking about. One of the greatest MCs to ever live, to ever walk this earth. We born the same year, Nas and I, right? And he's talking about somebody that has already put a footprint on the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's just coming along. You heard his song a lot. Anybody know this song a lot?
Yes.
Listen to this elementary nursery rhyme song.
Cat in the Hat.
And then you shocked that this kid said what he said. Also, you got this other kid, what was this, about 3 years ago? Look LiTe made an ignorant comment about Biggie, and Pete Rock went back and forth with him. But this is also somebody that took the little white girl from Dr. Phil, the Cash Me Outside girl, and signed her to $1 million deal. And is selling male nail polish right now to men.
What? I didn't know that.
So it's weird, because I talk to the youth all the time, and they say some pretty weird stuff to me.
And the reason why, when you said crack, that's a good time period, right? Well, it's a bad time period, but it's a good time period to show that where we're at now. And the reason why 21 Savage and people of his ilk is because of the breakup of the family. So so you got a mother, right, or maybe a father, but mostly mothers who are trying to raise their kids. And they're doing it by themselves. How can you pass that tradition down? Whereas we were able to pass, and again, we've had single parents, in our generation, but it's different because there was time to pass that tradition, as you said. And what happened is that gap after crack, and where nobody explained to a 21 Savage or to his mother what culture is, what tradition is. That's why we can still respect. Christmas time, you hear Nat King Cole, it means something. That's
the
tradition.
Temptations.
Yeah, it means something. You don't have to. You find out in white communities, kids generally respect with Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah, all of those groups. All
they
of
might
them.
have
like
played
100 years old.
Yeah.
but they respect it because
And they go to the shows.
and they go to the show.
Yeah,
and
I know.
you
Yeah.
never hear anything so,
Because they didn't have that breakup though.
Right.
They're continuing to pass down that tradition.
Right.
yeah.
You know, we don't have it. These kids just don't like. You know, we don't. And you have to understand. Look at the record companies and look what they promote.
Yeah. Well, ignorance. We know ignorance sells because ignorance doesn't spark genius, right? It doesn't spark revolution, right? So I mean, because even back in the day, with Public Enemy, when Public Enemy was just mainstream, even a drug dealer, a thug,
Didn't matter what,
didn't
right.
matter. They still respected them.
Yeah.
They didn't. So you never heard any goon or anybody in the street say anything bad about Public Enemy. That's when was it Rosenberg, Peter Rosenberg, when he said that comment about Chuck D, when he said that Chuck D made a comment, he said it wasn't relevant. The entire community went at Rosenberg, and to his credit, even he said, "I'm not going outside."
Correct.
Yeah, he said, "I'm not going." What's my man from Stetsasonic, Daddy O,
Daddy O.
gets on his
Yeah.
podcast, and the first thing he said, "You know what you said. You no one ever talks about Uncle Chuck." Because he's everybody's uncle. See, that's how you like just rope
Got
everybody
some
in.
wine for you right now.
No, I don't need any wine.
That's for you.
Oh, okay.
For you.
Bottoms up. Okay, so
All right, go ahead.
yeah. Actually, it's a good break. How do you make holy water?
I don't know.
You boil the hell out of it.
Boy, the hell
Okay.
Boil the hell.
Now, next question. So off of the idiot. As a producer, what do you prefer? MCs in front of you in the booth, or do you mind them sending their lyrics?
I prefer them there.
Why?
Light know that.
Why?
Way.
I mean, you have to understand, like, you know, I'm not a rapper. So, I mean, I did do the one you saw with Bill and Fame.
Yeah, I saw that.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that was Billy. Billy was like, "You need to get your name out there." So me and Fame gonna be behind you. I was like, okay.
And they were behind you.
And they did the look, you know. But I prefer that because first off, it's a lot of pride in seeing, you know, it's not like I'm working with you know, people that are nobodies.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then some of these people, you know, you're looking at people that you truly admired. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I remember when Sheik came in the booth, you know, I gave him the Cavassier, and, you know, he's talking to me. He's like, when I heard this beat, it was like, yo, this beat is tough. And, you know, they don't really, because they're so used to the accolades and stuff, they don't know what they're telling. They're building you up.
Yeah.
You know, because you have chosen to get on my music.
Yeah.
You've had the best producers in the world already, and you chose me. So it's always good to be in the, you know, watch the rapper be there. Now, if I have to, I will take the, you know, the lyrics in, you know, they'll send me the acapellas. But that's very rare that I do that.
Now, one of the things, and just correct me, because one of the things I learned was that there's a difference between a beat maker and a producer, right? And the beat maker, as I'm told, just makes the beats, but a producer arranges, guides the MC. Actually, Slick Rick said Large Professor is one of his favorite producers because he said Large Professor was the only producer that told him, "You're doing that wrong. You need to do it." So, do you find a situation where you have to kind of tell, especially veteran MCs, "I don't like that pitch," or maybe you should?
Well, you know, when you dealing with people, you can't. How you gonna tell, you know, Cool G Rap or you gonna tell Lil Fame how? So I learned a little trick. You know, the last time I was in the booth with Slap last weekend, or the weekend before this last weekend. You know, I do all those vocal and scratch hooks. Sometimes I don't do them at all. And Fame was like, "Amo, you should have put something on that." He wanted me to guide him.
Okay.
And it's really interesting that people that, like, you know, we'll be out and people are like going nuts, telling him, you know, how wonderful and how he changed their life, and you know, you work with this, you know, like we working together and riding home and you know, and I've learned a method that what I do is I usually motivate the rapper. By the time he hears the beat, he knows what to do. Because the beat will tell him, like Nims. for instance, the NIMS, he heard it,
Yeah.
and it told him what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what most people tell me they like. Rusty.
Okay.
That's what I did. Rusty ran off of, Rusty went off of what I provided for him. I gave him a bunch of scratch hooks, or I will pick a sound that makes you feel some kind of way. Like Tech wrote I had one with Tech. I didn't tell you. I didn't let you hear it yet.
Another one?
Yeah. Tech he wrote because he felt what it was telling him. He said, this got a story to it, Amadeus.
Yeah.
So that's what he wrote to. So usually I don't have to tell rappers nothing, especially established rappers. They're the young ones that I work with. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I tell them, no, you need to do it like this on that part. But that's because they're young and they're like, I got Lil D.
Oh, cool.
So I got Lil D, and the boys got a nice following on them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but
That's
him,
my boy.
I would tell him little things here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
lay
so
that foundation.
so I saw a video, a new track that you have out with Craig G. What a legend, Craig G. How did it feel being with the lead off, the man?
8 Mile, yeah, the writer for 8 Mile.
Well, yeah.
Let's tell everybody, he wrote that
dropping
that
sides.
battle scene. That's what Craig wrote that.
Yeah.
Craig G wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
8
That,
Mile.
yeah.
Epic.
So I had been back and forth with Craig. I had pictures for years with Craig when I was actually skinny. I mean, when we were both skinny, actually, both of us, and we kept saying what we were gonna, and I didn't really have, I was really running my mouth, to be honest with you. I couldn't have done nothing anyway. But he saw what I was doing at the KRS-One show when NIMS performed, and we just decided to do it at the Bushwick Collective.
Okay.
And it was time. And he's really feeling the attention because he's seeing, it's already, popping up, and, we have 3. I'll be honest, the Master Ace is even better than that. It's a Master Ace Craig G. It's insane. And the video's even better.
Can we introduce that video and do that right there? Huh? So we can you can enter.
But we did Stakes is High also too. We redid that,
Yeah,
and
I've heard that, yeah.
it's Elder Sensei, and
Praise the piece of
that situation is just like never.
Yeah. Stakes are high.
One.
So I meant to ask you for that. Whoa.
And it's funny you say that with Tamer, and rest in peace and rest in power. To hear him pass, and then the same day Hurricane G.
Yeah, it was strange.
It just,
She had been sick though for a minute, so I knew that though.
Yeah. And here you are with his partner with a song.
It's been weird, man. Because I'm letting him.
Yeah.
You're discussing all this business, and then you got to fall back and let them grieve. And let them, because I could see he's going through it. I work with Rottenness, of course, and and I can still see, like when we did VSOP.
So that's one of my
So
questions.
wait, now I need Amadeus to introduce that video with Buckshot and terminology. Just to do a quick intro, let everybody know.
Okay.
Intro
Yeah,
that.
that's introduce that video so we can get it on.
It's coming off my album that comes out next year. I got a deal, so it's coming off my album next year, and it's Warfare. It's Buckshot, and instead of me doing the scratch hook or getting static with somebody, I wanted Evil D to do it. I mean, who wouldn't want Evil D to be with Buck?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be on the album. It's featuring terminology.
What's the name of the song?
Warfare.
Listen, it's a nightmare. When you see me right here, where? In your eyeball, when eyeball I switch up my game, buck shots in his bitch. FAP, Franklin Avenue posse, you can't stop me, it's obviously born leader. Follow my lead as I take him on the mission where the cops are freeze. Unmarked, clear parks before dark. Soon as you see a spark, then you hear the bark from a pit bull with a clip full from Brooklyn. Everybody else good looking, come again, Bucktown, duck down. All the trees I smoke, you seen them cut down. Forest fire to Forrest Gump. When Amadeus a player, this is sure to jump. It's an all-out warfare. We all here. What we got in store is some more here. It's an all-out warfare. We all here. What we got in store is some more here.
In the lab with the legendary buckshot. Enough props, playing boot camp at the bus stop. Kept the shit live from the school to the drug spot. Fuck ops, fuck cops, underground, fuck pop. Wildin' like Pac, moving pounds and blocks. Yeah, I know I'm famous, but I ain't down to stop. I'm selling drugs off a laptop, caked off my last drop. Now I'm selling clothes, no more haze out the tat shop. RP Sean P took me on my first tour. DC, VA, NY, Baltimore. Killed him with my debut, killed him with my sophomore. Then I did 20 more, then another 20 more. Man, I stopped counting my mind and moved mountains. My goals, they all amount, and I swallowed the youth fountain. Bucktown, duck down, come and rock with us when you see us in your motherfucking town.
It's an all-out warfare. We all here. What we got in store is some more here. It's an all-out warfare. We all here. What we got in store is some more here.
Oh, we back. I hope y'all like the video. We back with Amadeus.
Yes, Lord. Question. It's gonna be really deep.
How deep is it gonna be?
Oh boy, I think that's
I look like real.
I think this thing like
Going in his soul.
Yo, check it out. What? No, I got it. That was what did the sweet potato pie say to the apple pie when it tried to bully him off the table? I ain't no pumpkin.
Oh, that makes no sense. I ain't no pumpkin.
Well, back to the interview. Sight, why did the Pepsi employee get arrested?
Because he drinking Coke.
He was selling Coke. Now, is there any particular producer right now that you like, that you enjoy listening to?
I mean, I keep my ear to certain producers.
You respect their craft, like the person you respect their craft.
It's really hard.
Top 5.
And there's a reason for that. Like, you know, everybody, I'm like Rain Man when it comes to, like, I hear music in everything. No matter what it is, I hear it. And they're not creative. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're getting these packs. Mm-hmm. The drum loops are there from at 160 BPM. They put a little eerie noise in the back and the beat is over. It's done. There's no creativity. They're doing the whole beat with a mouse on and a computer. I'm hands-on. I'm all hands-on. I do everything.
Put a beat to
from scratch. The way it's, in my opinion, even Zaytoven, he did Trap Niggas for Future. He's one of my favorites. And
But he doing it from craft though, right? You know, with the space and how quick people are trying to put out albums, doesn't that slow things up for you?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because, so you know, I travel a lot. You know, of course, you see, I be all over the world.
Yeah.
The one thing that I can tell you is when you go to any other country, let it be Asia, England, anywhere in Europe, Hawaii, you name it, Japan, you will hear Wu-Tang, you will hear Biggie, you will hear Pop. And what people don't understand is like, when does fast food taste as like a fast food hamburger from McDonald's taste as good as a gourmet burger?
No.
Which one will you remember that you ate?
Yeah, gourmet, definitely.
So what I'm learning is listening and learning from, like, even, you know, Slap was giving me advice in the car. You know, you're like, yo, this is what you gotta do. Don't chase the dollar. Let it, if you put quality, it'll always be around.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, we watch these different genres from the early 2000s, the lean with it, rock with it, all of these gimmicky, Laffy Taffy with D4L.
Yeah.
Think about that. Why do you never hear this music being played anywhere?
Yeah.
It did what it did for that time period, and it went away.
Yeah.
But the stuff that people put their heart and soul into, that took, you know, talent, that took creativity, is the stuff people are still playing until this day. Right now, I don't know if you noticed, like, you know, Raz was real tight with Coolio, you know, and they worked together. And, you know, Coolio was making buku dollars doing 90s hip hop tours.
Right.
You understand? And the majority of the people that were coming to see it were young people.
Yeah.
So you won't see 21 Savage on a tour like that 30 years from now. You understand? So I would rather be remembered and know that, like, they hear my sound and know it took that man time, creativity. Just like when I was young and I listened to Praying, or I listened to Pete Rock and I would hear those little ding dings, or how Large Pro took the sample for Looking at the Front Door.
Oh my God.
And if your imagination ran away with you, and that's what I create now. I make music that I know I would have wanted to hear. You understand?
Yeah.
And I don't want to put nothing out there that I would rather get my money the way I get it now than put some garbage out there and then be remembered for putting out garbage.
And that's well said. And that's the state. That's what culture is about, right? Which has been like the theme for most of the show about culture having, you know, code and such.
Culture and code. Yeah, shout out to Taz.
Yeah. Shout out to Taz. Yep.
Dre, we see you.
Yeah, Dre. Yeah. Now, Little D. You mentioned Little D.
Mm.
So I see you associate with a lot of people. Little D, terminology. Yeah, he's a spitter. Oh my God. So what do you see going forward with how you're going to work with Little D? Where do you see him? Does he seems to have charisma, right?
I mean, well, you know, he has, I don't know, like 72,000 followers, and, you know, he won like that, you know, Jay-Z had some kind of scholarship at the University of NY. He won that.
Yeah, he won.
And he's going to be studying under Ninth Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just had his birthday the other day.
Yeah,
so
his birthday. Yep, happy birthday.
And first off, you know, you're talented.
Yeah.
And he just has it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he just has it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is. I mean, it's a lot of people intimidated by this kid, and he's got it. And I don't care about him being, you know, white, none of that, because I can see that he has a ton of respect for the culture.
Yeah, he does.
And for him to do what he does, you have to.
He's nice.
And we have, in the feedback that I've been, even from the label, they just hit me and they was like, listen, if you don't have a video for this one, we need a video for this one.
Yeah.
With him. I did 2 with him. I have two videos. It's
video shooting. I'm not around.
like, man, it's I'm constantly. It ain't like can't come to everyone. And you know, yeah, I'm going to definitely do something because he's on the album, and you know, I want to give him more shine since I got this deal. You know, and they're gonna promote everything.
Deal?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, he got a deal.
Yeah,
Take that humble hat off.
I mean, I came, it was Craig and L helped facilitate that for me. Yeah, they did that for me. They brought me, they was like, this guy's got like a laundry list. They was like, you should see the amount of product he has, and it was nothing. I mean, they were like, they reached out and it was just done. Nice. It's nice. You don't have to worry about like all of those technical things and putting things together and having, get a publicist and a what is it, a program manager. I had that now. It's
got
nice.
marketing and promotion for real, y'all.
Little stuff like that they putting up. Like I got my now. I have a. I mean, I just it's not been but about 3 weeks. Finally, they're setting everything up. I got my own Vivo channel coming.
His own Vivo channel coming. Today's Vivo channel. We can type it out.
It's nice, because you don't have to do anything, and it's up to them to put in the work to make the product stand out, and they like what I had, and they saw that I had all these people that, and the guy that owns the company, he's a big fan. He's had a lot of these artists either on the label already, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a no-brainer. Yeah. And it's kind of hard because you're a producer, you're a behind-the-scenes person, and rappers want to be seen. Yeah. And and I took Fat Gary's advice. Fat Gary was like, you need to do what I did with Premier. Put him out there. Let people see Premier.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to do. Be seen like in the Still World Famous video. Billy was like, you're hogging the screen ass nigga.
So since we're going there, I know you all up in the video.
I have to.
I like that.
Because and then something that bothered me is you put all this work in, and then you go do a video and you don't put yourself in it or stand out, and people don't even know it's yours.
Right.
So once Fat Gary told me that, I said no. And I talked to Turn. I don't like Turn because like we had the G-Rap video that's about to pop off, and I need that.
Yeah, you got my favorite.
Because like with Eminem, I'm like listening to Eminem give this speech, and I'm like, I got 10 of these artists that this man is rambling on.
Yeah.
And and you just kind of like just can't believe that like that these people find what you do, enthralling, and they want to work with you. It's just it's a weird feeling.
So there's an artist that you produced for. This is what, and I actually hit you up because I wanted to purchase a single because it's on YouTube. Prayer. So when we go back again about the signature sound. What impressed me when I said this guy doesn't have a signature sound.
Yeah, I know.
The transition of that beat. Right, when he said with praise, says, thank you for the producer for allowing me to murder this beat or something. But the transition, the intro, then the transition to the sample, then another sample. And it was just, and at that point I said, this is not a fluke. In that production, it's not a fluke. This is not something that you actually made. So how's the reception for that one?
So that's going to be on the album also. That was I just let Prayer, he's signed to Buster. He's with Conglomerate.
Yeah.
And,
they got a nice little track, a video.
Yeah. I have a lot. I mean, the people that heard it, they're thrown off by that track because it sounds nothing like. But it depends on how I'm feeling and who you are.
Right.
That's a Prayer record.
Yeah.
Just like I did another one with Prayer. It has it's a Bob Marley sample from I wanna know now. He went nuts for it. Prayer has his own. He's a weird lyricist. He says some very strange stuff.
Got a little bit of, like Biggie, a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little it felt good. The reception was very positive immediately. Like Prayer got a lot of because it's for my album and I ain't put the video out yet. So he put it up. But it was weird. His manager called me. Yeah, he called me right away. He was like, yo, this joint you did for Prayer.
It's ridiculous.
It's you just have to have, people are good at what they good at. I didn't go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? This music thing is something that I take seriously. It's a gift. It's the gift. You can't teach. You can teach people the technical side, how to use a machine or an MPC but you can't teach people talent. That's just something people got.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to Fame, or, you know, sometimes it's just like, even though I got all this stuff with these guys, him, Tef, Billy, it's that just like, I can't believe somebody can write something like that.
Yeah.
Fresh and like just it's like they don't age, right? We have MCs that just don't. What did Rakim said? Flow is like the fountain of youth. It's like it just don't age. Now I got a question for you, and I brought this one.
We got to introduce that next video.
Oh, okay.
That next video. MLP. What did I give you? The MLP still worth famous.
Oh, okay, this is going to be on the album, so this MOP still world famous.
Generation, real ill niggas from the film you'll be facing. The last generation, real ill niggas from the film you'll be facing. Black, still banging, bring it to a brawl. That's how you bring it. Black, still banging, bring it to a brawl. That's how you bring it. Dirty with that old bastard flow. I'm so epic, niggas won't cast the flow. Follow the blueprint, niggas won't master flow. Here you go. Truth is, niggas don't have to know. We tell them get in the blood. Best to believe them. When they throw shots, I dodge and weave them. The hood can't see him. Ready to die like Pop. Sitting next to Suge in the BM. Keep heating arms reach. Let busy woe, the don't speak. I'm outside and I ain't nervous. But nowadays, every rapper with little in his name be getting murdered. And you follow that bullshit. Fuck nah, I ain't with that. Leave you parked in the same spot where you whip at. Double clip on the same block where you click at. It's MOP to the death, nigga, you get that? It's the last generation, real ill niggas from the film you'll be facing. It's the last generation, real ill niggas from the film you'll be facing. Black, still banging, bring it to a brawl. That's how you bring it. Black, still banging, bring it to a brawl. That's how you bring it.
Authentic, it was never about the flow. Hood trimmings, it was never about the glow. Vintage, off limits, you niggas know. Respect the scrimmage or I'll let it blow. Brownsville, Icon, Murder Inc., remember? You're all welcome. We'll leave the lights on. Get dismembered with your knockoff stripes on. Left kissing your steering wheel. You better chill. The Chiefs back, look how these niggas react. Get out your feelings, homie, the drill's on me, relax. Get a lung collapse, they'll have a baseball bat tapping your fitted hat. Who don't see the fun in that? Damn. You really want me to run it back? 87 shit, real nigga Prince on a Beretta grip, huh? Before you bet, check the odds, see the stats. Or get left where you at. You get that? You get that?
Back from the video.
Oh, we back from the video. I was focused on the question, man.
Well, before I ask a question, I used to work at Starbucks. I quit. Tired of the daily grind.
Oh my God, that was a joke. He slid it in there. He slid it.
It took me a second to catch it. So I asked this question with Tech, right? In a previous what it looked like Shane's plug podcast video cast. Versus MOP versus Smith and Wesson.
You know, it's interesting because I get, you know, I didn't even think of that. You know, yeah, I'm glad you said that because when I see them, you know, up there, we got a show at Foxwood, the Lyrics of the Mic tour. It's Onyx and you know, MOP. It's funny because it's both artists I work with.
Yeah.
So everybody's coming at me. I was at the Verses with Onyx. I was there on stage with with against Cypress Hill in LA.
Yeah.
And everybody, even in my comments, people like, we need an Onyx MOP Verses. But I think that's also a very, I didn't even think of that. It's because, you know, Tech and Steel, it's their style. They so smooth.
Yep.
And Sticky and Fredro are very animated, especially Sticky.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Beyond, I mean, I have this video that's coming.
Yeah.
He showed out.
Yeah.
We're in this Rolls Royce. This dude is jumping out. The car, it's gonna be an interesting look, and the track is insane.
So now, rest in peace to Prodigy, right? Rest in power, rest in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna switch it. Now we got Smith and Wesson versus Mobb Deep. Prodigy was like, because they're both groups too that are smooth, right? They're not rowdy.
Oh, I would, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that can't happen.
But
yeah.
Now, I did see you at the Big Daddy Kane KRS-One battle versus.
Right.
That was epic.
That was epic. I think for the culture, it was incredible.
It was beautiful.
I was shocked when Buckshot came out. I was like, "Oh, the hell was KRS-One." But he didn't think. No, it was no. I get it because the album I bought, right? No bootleg. I didn't buy it, right? But I thought that from a hip hop perspective, hip hop culture, that was one of our best verses. It was just the culture, the fact that they brought breakdancers out. The fact that you got Big Daddy Kane, who's always flashy, but you got KRS-One being who is this very simple, very hip hop attire.
And Craig came out too.
Yeah. It was disappointing when Coogee Rap didn't come out. Coogee Rap, man, I was
just wanted him to
my idol when it comes to MCing.
Yeah,
we wanted him so bad. But nevertheless, what's your thought about that? I mean, because everybody talks about the Locks performance, right? Versus Dipset, right? But
that was a slaughter.
Yeah.
That's like why do single people always go to the gym?
Are you serious?
Yeah, why do single people always go to the gym?
Why do they?
Because relationships don't work out.
Oh.
I have a problem with that. Why do bicycles like to stand up? So they don't get too tired.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you call a well-balanced horse?
Are you kidding me?
Stable.
That makes sense.
Got him here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
That was a great.
That's a versus. We got a comedy verse. Yeah, comedy verse. So now, Detox. Do we care anymore about Dr. Dre's Detox?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of those, things where people just want to know what's on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's shared.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't come out for a reason. I mean, who's to say it might not even be good?
And the reason I brought it up as a producer is because everybody that goes to Dr. Dre's studio come out and say they hear the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Everybody says,
But
"Oh my God,
that might be game."
Yeah, and
some people do that.
Now him and Snoop, their album, they're coming out with an album.
Yeah.
Now here's my question from a producer perspective. Snoop Dogg, you have Dre's first album, Chronic.
Okay.
Right? Had a kind of that G-funk slow riding, Then you had the second album, Chronic, too. What a change in sound. Did you notice how that sound just changed? From G-funk to like kind of, who do you have? Mailman was part of it. Like
you mean the Chronic 2000?
Yeah. Chronic,
2001.
Yeah. It was like a sonic sound. Did you? You didn't feel
so of course it was a transition, but you have to understand. Look how much longer that was. That was years later. What he did was Drake updated his sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he did, and he made the sound very big on that one with Eminem. Because Eminem, what's the difference? Was on that with Exhibit and all of that. Of course, I'm a producer. Of course, I hear every little thing. That album, the Chronic is still classic. And the reason the Chronic, I'm talking from a producer, not from a fan's perspective, is the arrangement. Like Let Me Ride, it's a producer. If you produce, what he did to do what he did to make that sound that way when you listen. And the arrangement is insane. I mean, he took this, and just like a puzzle, and pieced it in the way he wanted it to sound, and it all came out of his mind.
Yeah.
And that's something that I emulate, is that creativity. But the sound was not big. The Chronic wasn't a big sound. It was a laid back G-funk, straight up South Central sounding album.
Yeah.
And then when 2001 came out, he reinvented himself. The sound is very West Coast.
Yeah.
The Chronic 2000 still is it's LA
Right.
to the fullest. It's just a bigger sound.
Yeah.
He chose to go with a bigger sound that time. It was a lot of real bold stuff. He also had this dude Scott Storch.
Yeah.
And that added it, so it changed the dynamics. But was it still LA?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, yeah, I mean, when you're in LA, they still play that stuff like it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the car in LA, it just fits the environment the same way Buckshot fits Brooklyn.
I had a conversation. There were like other people I know who were outside of New York and said, why is the sound of New York is so just like boom, 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 right? And sample area. I said, because unlike in the West Coast when they're riding, they're cool. West Coast, you relax, you got palm trees, the sun. We're in the grind, right? We got our hoodies on, we're in the train, we got the headphones, and we got to hear to drown out the noise. That's why you get that heavy sound. Now, I have a question for the panel, right? Give me one hip hop album. We'll start with these guys, right? The jokes are here. My competition. One hip hop album that if someone said, "Hey, I don't know anything about hip hop," what album would help me get an understanding of what hip hop is?
Okay.
Let me just put this up real quick. Okay.
All right. Let's see what you got. Let me see.
I mean,
what you got?
well, I would give the Busta Rhymes Extinction Level event, because that album is crazy from beginning to end. It got MOP on it. It got Jay-Z on it. It got his whole crew on it. And it got, I want to say, is Janet Jackson on it also?
Yes.
Is that yeah. That album is magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
Magnificent.
I'll just probably just give him something like Master Ace Taking With Ranch. For me, that's his album.
Because
to me, it's a sound. To me, it's a Brooklyn sound. It's just like his lyrics. It wasn't. At the time, I wasn't into all that shoot 'em up, boom, 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 boom. He was like just giving out real good lyrics, and the music was good, the production was good. It was a good album. It was a really good first album to me. But I would probably give somebody this, listen to this, check it out. That's what it's the good intro to hip hop. That Busta album, of course, I think it's a little too much. I wouldn't give that
It's more
for somebody to bring them into it.
Well,
That's just my.
If it's beginning, then you gotta give him the Rakim.
You can give him Rakim that too. Are you gonna give him a BDP?
I got, for me, would be Mecca and the Soul Brother, Pete Rock and Still Smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the production, it's smooth. There's not much cursing in it. Lyrical enough that if it doesn't go over people who are trying to learn hip hop, right? It doesn't go over their head too much, and it's something they can play around the kids. What about you, sir?
Yeah, that's almost impossible.
You can pick anyone.
I mean, like you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but most definitely Enter the Stage. I mean, it's like
impact.
if you're talking about if you want to teach somebody like building blocks of hip hop, Enter the Stage or Daily Operation, Midnight Marauders, because it's impossible for you to say one album. But if you wanted to say what albums would you have someone listen to, because like Evil D, the whole production with him and Walt, it's like I say, I'm hearing stuff from a producer's mindset.
Yeah.
That stuff has a lot of building blocks in it.
Mm-hmm.
What I hear building blocks. That's what I hear. And so if you wanted to teach somebody what like a foundational sound to what particularly East Coast hip hop is, it would be those albums: Midnight Marauders, Enter the Stage, Daily Operation, Mecca and the Soul Brother, what was the one after that with It's On You on it with you know, they had I Get Physical on it.
Yeah, they sampled a lot.
Those are really
sampled a lot.
and because it's a lot of building blocks. Because I produce like Preem and P Rock, so I hear every little thing that they do, and the creativity. One thing about compared to the West Coast, you know, is the creativity on the East Coast is insane.
Yeah,
nobody can ever compare to the creativity here. Even though Dre the Chronic, wonderful, it's just the West Coast. Yeah, you know, they had this whole thing with Parliament out there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Zap, Roger, that was interwoven into the culture. I had a lot of family out there in South Central in Inglewood, and that's just the sound of LA at that time because their parents were playing this funk type, you know, Zap.
Yeah.
And they would sample, but if you listen, most of that stuff is very straightforward. Listen to Spice One. Listen to MCA Compton's Most Wanted. The stuff is very basic. They take the best elements of them songs and made beats out of them. Here, that stuff that Enter the Stage, Premiere, Pete Rock, that stuff is mind-blowingly creative.
Yeah. I would agree. Now, you travel a lot.
Yeah. I travel.
When you're not listening to hip hop, what do you listen to, if anything?
I listen to a lot of different stuff. I'm you know, as a producer, I believe you should be eclectic. And I can name stuff. People always shock the stuff that I know, especially white people. They didn't expect me to, like, I made Lil D some stuff out of, and he loved it. Like, it's stuff that's made out of rock music. I made beats out of Metallica stuff. I made one recently, and I'll let some people hear it. It's made from Tom Sawyer Rush. I make beats. Yeah, I listen to all type of stuff. I even I like foreign music.
You like that also exotic insect foods?
Yeah, I just be trying stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Tell everybody know you're eating well.
Man, you talk about that now, man. You know what?
Well, I had to shut my phone off when I saw that. I had to shut my phone off.
Huh?
You let the world see it. Now you over there trying eel and scorpion. And
I mean, when I go to different countries, I like Asia. Yeah, and they, you know, China and stuff. Man, this is amazing, bro. People don't understand what it's like. Like, it's another world. It's almost like a anime. It's like they got like for every building Manhattan got, they got like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And every kind of food you can imagine. Because they eat everything, especially in China.
Yeah. I've been to Beijing. Shout out to Donald for getting me out there twice. Yeah. Beijing was it.
That's a shameless plug right there.
Yeah. Well, you know that's the general. AKA, you know, I gotta give him a shout out because when I went to China, it was an experience just seeing everybody waking up in the morning and exercising. You see hundreds of bikes in the street, and just everybody kind of like just in their own thing, minding their business and get into even going and buying something. Like even when we would eat in Beijing, what would happen was that you couldn't give tip. They didn't take tips.
Yeah, they don't take tips.
They don't take tips.
It's an insult.
Yeah. So it's traveling is it's just now. We talked about hip hop in Europe. They seem to be very, very focused on our classics. They respect the culture. It's
right,
and it seemed to happen even before hip hop because a lot of our great artists like Paul Robeson and such, Nina Simone would go out to Europe and they would just get such a great reception. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I sell a lot of content over there. Yeah, I mean, especially like the UK, and I do have a couple of British artists. I got Keith Murray. I have a track with Keith Murray, and it's a guy named Billy Spliff, and he's in London, and it's him and Billy Spliff together. Yeah, wow. So and Billy and Fame know him pretty well too, because when they're over there traveling, touring, they always link up with him, you know, and. The Europeans had, let me tell you, like, I'll give you a good example. Like, you know, Onyx put this album out, with Slam 2 and all of that. And, you know, Fredro got this cat that made these crazy beats from like, that sounded like 1993. And that's why they named it 1993. And they have this weird obsession with black culture depending on where you are. I've been all over Europe.
Was that
I've been to
Snow
What's that?
Is that Snow Goons?
No. This is a cat named Stakovich. Snow Goons was doing. No, this guy here is from the Ukraine.
Okay.
That produced this last project. Different parts of Europe has this weird. Listen, I've been Germany. I've been to Poland. I've been to Kiev. I've been to London so many times I can't count. Each parts of Europe, Paris, they have this weird outlook with us, with our music. Because we so unique over here. We brought as slaves. Right. We have built the culture, the music culture of the world. No matter where you go. Brazil, who is it? It's us. Yeah. But in Europe, they real strange. Like they have this bizarre outlook on what they think we are. And it's so unique that they're obsessed with this particular sound that we got. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And I sell a lot. That's where a lot of mine and especially like Germany, Russia, Poland, them Eastern European countries, they have an obsession with like boom bap. Obsessed with it. And the UK, they've, them having such a large black population and having a lot of people of, West Indian descent, they've caught our stuff and they just ran with it. Yeah. Like, it kills me what they doing over there. When I go, like, they got a music scene to be proud of in England. Wow. I mean, they putting out stuff that they doing everything from boom bap to drill, to their own versions of drill, to their own versions of trap. They produce differently. Like they're really, to be honest with you, they're the cutting edge of what music is doing. But because we so popular, people around the world will follow what we do.
Well, and UK's always followed black music, right? Rolling Stone and everyone have always followed. So they just tradition and coming up and being enslaved and I mean we would get gods and queens and kings and queens, right? All life started from us, right? With the alpha before the omega. But when some of our young and our greatest were taken and enslaved, we had to make, and we learned how to make from nothing, and that's how music and the culture comes from nothing, right? Yeah. What he says, but now. Terminology, right? Because I like terminology as a spitter. Yeah. Do you find yourself doing a lot of work with other Boston artists alongside down in
I mean, other than knowing, the other guys that I know that are in Boston, I shot my Sticky Fingers video in Boston. Okay, that's where I just shot it at, and the Boston scene is a little different. I'm not a big fan of like some of the art. Like I'm not a big Millie's fan. I'm not into that whole. I don't know what you can say on your show.
I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I ain't into the whole
kind of things. The Jews though, I can keep on.
Yeah, I'm not into the whole wigger thing. The whole, white boy saying the N-word, and Boston has this kind of bizarre culture for me. Now I have worked with that OG.
Yeah, legend.
I did, and he's on the album. So I got that OG. I wanna
and shout out to his album with Pete Rock. I thought it was it was an EP actually, and it was
So I worked with Ed OG, and there are some smaller artists that I had Easy, Terms got Easy Money. I had him on the album with Skyzoo. And
Skyzoo the writer. I think he just opened up a restaurant or something.
Really? He's down in Atlanta.
He's in
Atlanta. And but I mean, it's not a lot of Boston cats. Like Term is just Term has his own lane, and he's been nominated for the music award. Term for the Boston Music Award. Nice. And in the hip hop category.
Oh, good.
And
he should win.
Yeah, Term is really he's probably the most talented dude out of Boston besides NOG.
Right.
Yeah. He's a spitter.
He just knows what he's doing, sometimes.
Now, let me ask you another group that I like in their production style, Griselda.
Yeah, what about?
The Ranger and Alchemist, and I just like, Alchemist isn't, he's not with them, but he's affiliated with them. What's your view on Derringer's? I think Derringer.
Yeah, Derringer
his production style and what they're doing.
So it's interesting because they were before the Jimmy Fallon thing. They were at Static's place all the time. Mm-hmm. That was the home. They were there, and they worked a bunch of times with Static, and then they went on Jimmy Fallon, and you can't find them. Wow. Because it just sent them through the roof.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's weird, it's like NIMS.
Yeah.
NIMS can't find them.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's I'm proud, and I'm proud that I worked with them. Mm-hmm. But so what's interesting? You asked me about this Griselda thing. Somebody else just asked me about this. Mm-hmm. That Griselda sound is MF Doom. Mm. Yeah. So it's so funny to me that very few.
Now you threw me for a loop. Yeah.
Yeah. It's MF Doom, and Doom was. So if you listen to these, he would take, how Doom made his beats.
Yeah.
And he'd take something like stuff from Sesame Street, the Electric Company, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and he'd rap over it, or he'd make beats that were extremely simple that if you listen to them without him rapping on it, you wouldn't listen to that beat.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct. Not many drums.
So that's exactly what Griselda has done. Extremely simple production where what they say is the music.
Yeah.
And that's what Doom was. You did not care about that. Music was just a little bit of a weird background thing with Doom, because that stuff that Doom would say was mind-blowing. Yeah. And that's what Kanye, Westside, and Benny got. It's quiet, it's laid back. I mean, they got a few here and there, like the one they did with Preem.
Yeah.
Like that, but you notice they didn't keep going that direction.
Yeah.
That big sound doesn't exist with Griselda.
Yeah.
It's the same type of BPM. Mm-hmm. It's the same BPM too as Doom.
Yeah.
Where you're not supposed to be really paying the music any attention. You're listening to what they're saying. The rap is the music.
Yeah.
It's the exact mirror thing of MF Doom.
And I never thought of it that way, but it does make sense because, again, like with Doom, and even like with Rock Marcy, just not many drums, just weird sounds, and just rhyme. And that's and it's funny because I know Westside was trying to do an album, right? Or I believe he was trying to do an album with MF Doom, past, rest in peace to him too as well. Because they've created a whole new lane. And you know what this is an example of legend. Shout out to the Wu-Tang, shout out to Raekwon for these guys to say on the album, I'm passing it. This is your turn. I'm passing the mic to you guys. That's how you do it. Legends giving it and giving grace and respect to new people in the game and saying, this is your turn. We're back. We're out of it. So, shout out for them. And they, to me, hip-hop pure. And I loved how they Kanye got his own lane now. Even Benny had an album with Hit Boy, has his own lane, and Westside curates, as I said, he curates the sound. So exciting.
Well, the only difference between him and Doom also is, they're from Buffalo and they're street dudes.
Yeah.
But as far as, they almost do what Fame does, but in a Doom way.
Yeah.
And they say very animated lyrics, but violent animated lyrics.
Yep.
And they don't just say, I'm going to shoot you in the head. I heard Benny saying something about how he put the red dot on your forehead, turned you into a Hindu.
Yeah.
That's Doom lyricism over very, very slow, simple BPM.
Yep.
You understand? It's the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Someone threw a bottle of mayonnaise at me, and I said, "What the hell, man?"
What the fuck that came from, man? You was waiting for me to finish that.
I can't interrupt that. What the hell, man? Y'all got to go, all right?
Yeah.
Today I was asked out by 5 girls. Turned out I was in the ladies' bathroom.
Get out.
Yeah.
I started saying mucho to my Spanish friends. It means a lot to them. Mucho. Mucho grande. Mucho.
I got a question for you because they fucking. Who was the first artist that you worked with?
A group called the Brotherhood out of England.
And what was that experience like?
Oh, I was faking it. And it was weird because when I started getting attention, this guy hits me up in the DM. It was weird. They found me. Yeah.
So, would you work with them again?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, one of them is still doing some stuff. They're out of the UK. Yeah.
They're in the States?
No, they're in the UK. They're out in England. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I'll go over there, so like I'm probably gonna go over there and do something with with the other guy.
So when you say fake it, what do you mean specifically?
Oh, just I didn't, I was putting on a show.
Oh, like our last host.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, like our last host?
Like our last host?
No.
On the show, like our last host. Our last host.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Oh, that's the previous spot? Oh,
No,
what was that about?
Yeah.
No, I talk about that.
I don't know, man. But what did 50 Cent do when he was hungry?
Got a Big Mac, 58.
Oh man.
Did you hear about the kid who bungee jumped from the roof of the tallest building in school? And he was suspended.
Well, I gotta look for me.
No.
I'm pulling jokes offline.
I can't do that.
It's like saying, what's on Chris Rock's face?
Slap.
No, Fresh Prince.
Oh, man. That's not, and you know what's funny? That's not too soon. That's actually good time because we've moved on. Yeah.
Fresh Prince.
Now she got it like an hour later and whatnot. But,
Those are our jokes. It's like what starts with a W, has 3 letters but ends with a T. Make them think a little bit. What starts with a W, has 3 letters and ends with a T?
T.
What has
Oh, what? Oh my God. Like
How many-
project?
how many tickles does it take to get an octopus to laugh?
8?
10 tickles. So, what's
tickles.
so you know
Get us out of here.
so Jay Dilla, right? Jay Dilla, legend, right? And I say legend because his sound, it was just, just incredible how he sampled it. What's your thoughts on him?
I mean, he, to be honest with you, like Dilla did what people liked about his sound. It's just, it was his technique. You have people that they're fan, of course, millions of fans of Dilla, and they loved his sound. What's amazing to me is how he could take a track. It's how he sampled it throws producers off. I tried it. I can't do it, and that's what made him incredible. Taking he'd take a song like One Nation Under a Groove, and then he'd chop it up on the hi-hats, on the snares and the kicks, and then he could create a whole new song with just that song, which is almost. I don't even know. I mean, do you produce or
No.
Okay? So when I really understood what I thought I was hearing, and then when I found out that is exactly what I thought he was doing, it blew my mind. And I said, "This is why these people lose their mind." And that's why his music sounds so bizarre.
Yeah.
He took a lot of risk and did a lot of weird stuff. And because when you take a song, let's say we take any fast song, and you chop up and you take the hi-hat, or you take the snare, not the hi-hat, the snare and the kick out of the song with the music in it. You're just chopping up a song. Dilla would spread it out on all the pads and then do this, and it would be a whole new song. And he somehow sonically, ear-wise, could, because the music in the background, wherever you chop up on the kick and the snare, the music in the back is random.
Yeah.
So you can hit one pad and it sounds crazy. It don't even sound normal because the music is erratic. Somehow this dude weirdly could do this and make this song into a song with a song.
That's what.
And that's why his NPC is in the African American Museum. And that, or in Natural History Museum in DC. That dude was strange, and that's genius. To be able to do that, to just not there are no drums, there are nothing. He takes a song and says, okay, this has got drums, this has got a kick and a snare in it. I'm gonna chop it up on the kicks and the snares, and I'm gonna make a whole new song out of a song.
Wow.
That's what Dilla did, and that's why people keep praising him. The man's got a day dedicated to him in Detroit. Dilla Day.
His sound is incredible, especially when he was sick and what he was able to accomplish, and just he just went out just making doing what he loved. Now here's an underrated producer that I don't think get a lot of shine, in my opinion. Knots.
Knots is underrated.
Knots is dope.
It's like I mean, and I thought about it when you mentioned
him and DRP are kind of the same. They're both in the same. They have a very similar sound. Both MOP. It's strange.
And Knots it's like a heavy, the drums are just like boom, 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 and it's
make you want to go to war.
And I don't think that these guys don't get enough shine. Hopefully one day, but history.
Yeah, they should do another verses with producers like they started.
Yeah,
that would be epic.
You want to speak up, sir?
Yeah, they should do a verses like they did in the beginning with producers. That would be epic.
Is it autism thing? Because he's wearing purple.
No, but purple is for domestic violence.
Oh,
but that's last month.
Oh, okay.
I'm just wearing purple because it's cute.
That's good. It looks good.
Thank you.
Try.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
No, you good.
That's who's grimace.
Go ahead.
At what point in your existence did you decide, like, this is what I want to do? I want to create beats.
Oh, it's probably since I was a little kid.
Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember very.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how when you like something. See, I was obsessed, like, to the point of dysfunction with music. Like, some people's, like, I've had a lot of people, even in my family, they say like, we thought that we love music until we meet you. And I have that reputation with people. I'm like Rain Man. I can name the album, the year, what they used in the sample. I'm like that. And ever since I was a kid, and when I hear people, they'll say, oh, I love music. And I'm the type of person that, like, how many people can love music more than me? Or P-Rock or Large Pro or because usually producers are overly obsessed with that. Right. They're obsessed with it. And, I would go hungry. I spent my lunch money on records.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, as long as I can remember, I used to think up things in my head. And, I had a little Tascam when I was young and tried to do something with that. And then you don't want to have illusions of grandeur. And, I started doing it, and just people would, like, do this. And, it wasn't until Kid Capri was like, I would bring him stuff to his studio. I was a little embarrassed. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm picking the wrong hi-hats, kicks, snares. And Kid, I don't know if y'all ever watched, like, them hip-hop where the kids are on the hip-hop show, and his daughter's on there, and they would come. When he doesn't like something, Kid do this, he smoking his blunt, and he's sitting there, and then about 4 seconds in, he reaches over and turns it off. So one day I brought him a record, that I did, and I'm doing this, trying to let him see me looking, and he let the whole track play for the first time.
Wow.
And he real slowly leaned over and he was like, you have come a long way. And I never looked back.
Gotcha.
Capri.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's
Kid
a good
Capri.
story. That's a good story.
Yeah, it's like after that, it was the MOP. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. See, and that's what it's just that shot, right? All you need is that one opportunity, right? Now, do you have any stories that no one knows about in the studio with people?
Well, yeah, but you know that. You know that.
You gonna say me? No.
I mean, no, we ain't.
No.
We'll wait. You see a lot of wild stuff. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, I mean, now, you know, don't nobody coming after me.
Okay.
And I got some recent ones. You know, hint, like, you know what I'm talking about.
What came before the Big Bang? If we all know science, right? What the big foreplay?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, if we know astronomy, I mean,
I would have never.
Well, I mean, no. That was good.
Oh, wait. Why did the groom decide to go to bed? It was very sweet.
Oh God. Like he kind of got you beat on the joke, bro.
What? I found where they get these jokes.
You stole them whack jokes. You just should have bring your phone up. He found them. You found them jokes.
So I gotta ask the usual question. 2023. What's up? What projects you can talk about that's coming up?
I mean, so I was busy all year. You know, I've been shooting videos back to back. Like it's crazy. Like I got one with Ras I just did. It's being edited. Tragedy and Whispers from D Block.
Tragedy,
A lot of stuff. It's sometimes, and then this Saturday I just shot with Sticky. So and then
and your album is coming out
next year.
With
the label that'll have the prayer on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll have the prayer on
The
it.
first quarter was gonna come later on the year.
Yeah, I mean the label wants to really, because I got so much content, they want to play with it, and they say I mean, they want to try to tie everything and build it up. So I mean, to be honest, like the beauty of being a producer and not a rapper is one, you don't have to worry about age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't scared to say I turned 50 in January.
This past January?
No, I will turn January. I'm gonna be 50.
Don't look it.
Wow.
Melanated.
That's
right.
Nobody looks 50 anymore. What does 50
Well, black people don't.
Melanated.
You can't never tell.
That's what it looks like.
You can't tell what black people. I couldn't tell your age for nothing. I'll have no idea.
Should I flip this table over?
It would be how you act with she might be about 38, 35, or but that's just how she act. You can't tell by looking at her though. It's impossible. No, but I have. So I just got off the phone. That's why people are calling me. I'm everywhere. I have no idea what's coming my way. So I just heard the name Redman today.
Oh yeah.
Get thrown around. That's why I'm telling you, I have no idea. I sit down and I do what I feel. I'll hear a commercial. It's like Billy and them. They're like, how can you always making stuff? Like I have one with MOP. It's that Twilight Zone that zoned out. That, and it, and then the other one we did, I used Days of Our Lives. It just depends on what I get inspired, and somebody hears it and wants it. It's just, so you just get creative, and now I've gotten so good at it. The music's clean.
Yeah.
Every little thing in there is perfect. The timing, the sound. I learned all of that. You do thousands of beats, you learn. And and I get advice from people that tell me when I should do something. Some people are really like RA keeps run. Oh my God. So Craig G and Master, they put up a little clip of Why Not.
Yeah.
And I do these weird, sometimes I'll get in this mood where I want to do scratch hooks. And when I get in that mood is when my best scratch hooks sound, they sound crazy. And RA likes that. And I mean, he heard that Why Not, that little Master Ace, that little clip. my man, I need those beats, my man.
Yeah, right,
He's
right,
like pressing me, you know. RA got millions of followers.
Yeah.
Now,
So
he's
you
still
know,
rocking out with Afro, right?
Yeah.
yeah, that's the Afro. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's old. But yeah. So it's I'm always doing stuff. I mean, it don't stop. You know, people purchase a lot. I have a lot of you know, people that just come directly to me and just pay me.
You ever feel that you ever felt burnt out?
Oh yeah, you get burnt out because like if you're not creative, when it starts feeling like work is when you do the worst stuff.
Yeah.
And like I just said something like it amazes me. Like I'll get up and I'll just go make something because I'm in this mood, and it feels good to sit back and wait for the reply, and it's just fire emojis and what are you doing with this? I need this.
Yeah.
Or like, and I was in the studio with Fame. He told me to bring a whole bunch of beats in a folder.
Yeah.
And you know, we're sitting there and the engineer's playing each one because what we're gonna do, we're gonna record with someone.
Okay.
And I told Fame, say whatever, and we'll take them and put them in another folder. And I'm sitting there watching, you know, Fame sit and listen through the whole track. And I had to tell him, hey, yes or no? And he's like, yeah, that one too. One after another, he liked. He couldn't decide. And that feels good because I remember when, no, not that. And it was the other way around. Now people are like, I don't know, I like that last one, but then this one, I get that all the time now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got something coming with some people out of LA. Yeah,
Cypress Hill?
it's some, you know, the guys tied in with like Exhibit and Dance and Corrupt and all of them.
I got one last question. Lo-fi hip hop. You ever hear that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I
don't like it.
Yeah, now, okay, so I'm gonna tell you why I like it, and I'm gonna hear why you don't like it. Well, I listen to it like when I'm working and you know doing stuff around the house and stuff. It's nice and relaxing, but I also look at it like it's like kind of a lowbrow hip hop, I don't say low quality.
No, it's needed. It's needed. Like lo-fi is a lot of this. That's a lot of the samples they use for Griselda type of stuff. That they got Derringer.
Yeah.
He uses a lot of that. That you know, it's not very complicated.
Yeah. Maybe not. Or, yeah.
And it has a muffled type of sound to it, and then because what they do is they put a triple filter over it. That's what you're talking about. That's basically that is the difference between Doom's production and that. That's the two that I noticed stand out is more lo-fi. Derringer does that. Him and some of that stuff Alchemist done. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. Billy doesn't like it either. I even tried to talk Billy into making, you know, let me make, because I made some beats like that and he didn't like them.
Gotcha. Yeah, Billy's a spitter too.
Oh yeah, he just turned in something. I was listening last night because I wait in anticipation. And that's what I love about rappers is, I mean, even Raz, I got a lot of people, man, even KGR, the stuff that I'm realizing what he said on this Let Your Glock Burst.
Boy, y'all know KGR is short for
Cool Genius of Rap. Your rapper's favorite rapper.
Your rapper's favorite. Most of these people are, So they just be coming with the, you know, it's like Fame said on one of my joints, he says, you know, I'm a big dog, y'all are just poodles. I turn the back of your wig piece in the ramen noodles.
Yeah.
I don't know where he comes from.
Bars. Yeah.
Or he says, and still world famous, he's like, you know, out here in these streets, I'm a little nervous because half of these rappers out here with Lil in their name be getting murdered.
Yeah.
He just know he had the wordplay. Him and Bill. Tef too. And Tef too. Tef
is another one. Yeah.
Tef can go. He got new stuff with Preem.
Jazzy Moto.
That's Preem.
Jazzy Moto.
This new and he in the lab with Preem. This new album is Preem. I mean, I like Jazzy. She dope. She got a dude style.
And who's producing it?
Yeah, Preem. They like this.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's this is what the generation doesn't understand when we talk, right, about the culture, right? Bars are heavy for us, but you don't have to be super lyrical, right? people respect Q-Tip. He's not considered super lyrical. Great Nice is, you know, it gets you. It's about a style and energy. So if you don't have the super lyrical, if you can have cadence and flow, and even with somebody, let's say like a Q-Tip or a Great Nice, even what they do, there's craftsmanship in what they do. You know, so,
it fits their production too.
You know,
and
so,
their style and what they're representing. Because you know what you're doing. You're representing yourself when you make beats. You're representing a particular. You know, you're selling something to people's ears.
Yeah.
And then rappers have to say certain lyrics that people know them for.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, Q-Tip fit that tribe vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, that's an issue and the challenge. What this generation doesn't understand about bars is the fact that our storytellers, they don't just say I'm gonna shoot somebody.
Correct.
Like, just like the example you gave.
Correct.
They make it. It's like a painting, and they want you to kind of figure it out. Whereas these guys, right, and gals, they'll just say shoot, shoot, shoot. We talk when our MCs talked about crime, but they were regretful of crime. They explained why they had to do it. Whereas this generation, they're proud of doing it, and they're proud. They're not ashamed to say I take drugs. Where our generation said we're ashamed. They don't do it. We were ashamed. We had to do it, but this is what we're doing to get over it. Yeah, say no.
Self-destruction.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what the Stations High did the tribute to Day, you know, and De La put it on their story and everything, and I was real honored because I was nervous about it because of Dilla. You know, he has such a dedicated following, and when you produce other people's shit, you know, they're like, man, who the hell are you to touch a Dilla?
March had that issue when he did Something About Love. He took a Jay Dilla beat, and he got a lot of flack for it.
But he didn't make the beat.
No, yeah, but
I made this beat, that's what I was.
Yeah.
So what, you know, and I gotta give it to Craig. Shout out to Craig G. This dude's a good dude.
Yeah.
You know, he really used his contacts and his influence to help me with some other things. He immediately sent it to Maceo.
Wow.
And to calm me down, because I was very nervous.
Yeah.
And to calm me down, he showed me right away, like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. The next thing you know, they all chimed in and said, yo, send us this record too. I saw Plug One.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was weird. And the next thing you know, it was up on their stories and I was tagged.
Wow.
Nice.
That's so tagging Amadeus. I'm so honored to have him here.
It is weird because I actually told them, I actually saw them about 3-4 years ago and told them that I was going to remake that. And Plug was like, oh, you know, and it's really weird to see it. You know, like many of them, I mean, I'm used to it now. You know, you see your work come to fruition.
Yeah.
With, you know, these people, but yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
But dope. It was dope night, but time flies.
Aww.
It comes to an end.
Right.
That's my friend, y'all. He calls me, I call him. He don't be believing it when you call me. They be like, what Amadeus?
That was shocked.
Yeah, he been in a few sessions with us.
Hey, yeah, we booking out, but that's the time. I want to thank Taz for coming through.
Taz.
Raising
Send me your
house.
email and I'll just send you. I'm gonna let you hear.
Zach Digital.
Yep. AK Randstar Digital.
Randstar Digital. And there it is, the man, the one and only Amadeus. What it looks like, I'm like, yo, what up, fuck you, Yeah, we out, y'all.
One thing we know, you're a great producer, but you'll never produce jokes.
You don't got a joke?
You don't got nothing? You don't got nothing?
Man, I don't tell no.
Yo, we out, y'all. Thanks. Peace, dog.
Peace.